Hey there, 8th graders. Welcome to today's explainer lesson. Today, we are going to take your writing from merely okay and transform it into something absolutely outstanding. Have you ever written a first draft, dropped your pencil, and thought, all right, nailed it, I'm done, only to read it later and realize, well, it doesn't quite sound like the brilliant masterpiece you had in your head? You know what? You are definitely not alone. Even the best professional authors out there spend the vast majority of their time on the exact process we're going to learn today.
So, here's our roadmap for the day. We'll start with the power of revision, move on to reading aloud, adding details, improving organization, clarifying your voice, and finally, we'll wrap up by talking about walking the righteous path of a godly learner.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the power of revision shaping your words.
Now, consider this really powerful verse from Proverbs. Just like this scripture teaches us about our spiritual path, I want you to think of your writing in the exact same way. That first draft you write, it is simply that early, faint gleam of dawn. And hey, that's a great start. But revising is the deliberate, thoughtful action we take to make those initial ideas shine ever brighter, bringing them right into the brilliant, full light of day. Excellence is a process, guys. It's not just a starting point.
A lot of students think revising and editing are exactly the same thing. Actually, scratch that, a lot of adults think that too, but they are not. Think of editing as just fixing a cracked window. You're correcting a misspelled word or tossing in a missing comma. But revising? Revising is tearing down a wall or adding a whole new room to your house. It is about deeply improving your ideas, smoothing out the flow, and making absolutely sure your voice is clear and compelling. Moving right along to Section 2, reading aloud and audience, finding your flow. Okay, so here is your totally practical, real-world strategy. Step 1, start by grabbing a piece of writing you drafted earlier this week. Step 2, I want you to genuinely actually read it out loud to yourself. Now, I know it might feel a little goofy at first, sit in your room talking to a piece of paper or reading your history essay to your dog, but trust me on this, it is the absolute best way to hear clunky, awkward phrasing that your brain would totally gloss over if you were just reading silently. And then step 3, you've got to ask yourself the core questions. So, while you're reading out loud, these are the 3 crucial questions to keep in your head. First, does this actually say what I want it to say? Because sometimes our brilliant ideas get totally lost in translation when they hit the page. Second, are my ideas supported with strong evidence? You can't just throw a claim out there, you have to back it up. And third, is my tone right for my audience? The way you text your best friend is vastly different from how you write an academic essay for your teacher, right? Always keep your audience in mind. Let's hit Section 3, adding meaningful details, bringing writing to life.
This is a perfect example of what revision really looks like. If you just write, I like basketball, well, it's a complete sentence, sure, but it's kind of empty, isn't it? It's just that early gleam of dawn. But listen to this revised version. I enjoy basketball because it challenges my speed, coordination, and teamwork skills. See how adding those specific, meaningful details totally transforms the sentence. It tells your audience exactly why you enjoy the sport and really invites them into your experience.
Up next, Section 4, organizing your ideas, structuring for impact. Imagine you're writing a paragraph about why people need to recycle. If your ideas are just scattered everywhere, jumping from saving sea turtles to saving money, back to reducing trash, and then just abruptly ending, you are absolutely going to lose your reader. Instead, you need to logically build your case step by step. Start broad with the big environmental reasons, bring it closer to home with the personal benefits, and then finish strong with a clear call to action. Organization is literally how you take your reader by the hand and lead them exactly where you want them to go.
Which brings us to Section 5, clarifying your voice, speaking with confidence.
Voice is all about your attitude and your tone on the page. Take the sentence, you should probably recycle, I guess. I mean, it sounds so unsure. It's weak, and it definitely doesn't inspire anyone to take action. But listen to the revised version. Every student can make a real difference by recycling consistently. As an 8th grader stepping into higher levels of writing, you want your voice to command attention. Be confident in what you're saying.
Before we jump into our final philosophical wrap-up, let's take a quick breather to review the mechanics of what we've covered. Are you ready to see if you've mastered these concepts? All right, coming out of this lesson, you should be able to totally crush these homework questions. You know now that revising is rebuilding the whole house, while editing is just fixing the window. You know that reading aloud is the secret trick to catching clunky phrasing. You've seen firsthand how adding details about speed and coordination levels up a simple basketball sentence. You know that stepping your arguments from broad to specific fixes your organization. And you absolutely know that thinking of your audience changes your whole tone. You are fully equipped.
Finally, our last stop, Section 6, The Godly Learner, Wisdom Above Capability.
At HeroesMart Academy, we operate on a very specific philosophy. We intertwine biblical morality with your education. And why is that? Well, because education without morality can actually do a lot of damage. Think about it. Knowledge makes you extremely capable, but capability without a moral compass can end up hurting others. We don't just want you to be smart, we want you to be wise. True intelligence, when paired with biblical morality, equips you to make wise, God-honoring choices in literally everything you do, including the words you choose to write. This idea is perfectly captured in the book of Romans. This powerful scripture teaches us that while pursuing academic excellence and sharpening our writing skills is a truly wonderful pursuit, it always has to serve a higher goal. Keeping our minds carnally or worldly focused, that leads to a dead end, but keeping our minds constantly centered on God, truth, and righteous choices, being spiritually minded, that is what leads to genuine life and peace. Your ability to communicate is a tool given to you by God. Use it to speak truth. So 8th graders, as you sit down at your desk today to revise your drafts, as you put in the work to bring that early gleam of dawn into the brilliant full light of day, I want to leave you with this one thought. How will you use your newly sharpened writing skills to pursue truth, spread wisdom, and honor God today? Approach your revision not just as another school assignment to get through, but as a real practice in excellence. It's a way to share your God-given voice with the world. Keep shining, and happy writing.